Hey guys, welcome to the exporting side of our video. So I have a little surprise for you. So actually, you know how programmers tend to enroll on my course to learn art, like how to make simple things like this. So most of the people that enroll in my course are software engineers, indie developers, but like majority mostly are programmers. So one of the students that have taken the beginner course, this guy right here, one day just randomly post this on the channel right here under Yume on the Udemy courses and fix the Python script, the batch export. You know how in the beginner's course, it takes the folder name first and then the name. So it turns out as simple as a slash was missing and then it fixed that bug. Now, I don't know. I'm not a programmer. I just do art stuff. I'm zero on Python, like anything that has to do with that. So now when you import our script into Maya and you export this, you can finally export this with just its name right here. When you choose the folder, it's not going to copy the folder's name first and then put in your name. So you can just have it as it is, just like this. Now, that script further evolved into something else. And we kind of went back and forth and kind of troubleshoot it. So every time we export, even set the pivot point, everything is already shortcut for you guys. All you have to do is run this script. So first, go to this site right here. I'm just gonna copy it and put it on, let's see, Google right here. And you should land somewhere in here. As you can see, that is his profile right here, or Phoenix. And you can get this for free, for $0, and just hit I want this. Put your email right here, and the direct download should be sent to you. It's just as simple as that. So I'm going to show you the functionality of the script because we are going to use this to export our meshes. But at the same time, if you found the script helpful for you, because I'm telling you right now, it's going to shortcut a lot of manual labor for us. Just know that you can put any amount right here and donate. Alright? Because that is a script right here. Okay, so let's export this. Alright, so these two things right here, we're going to use this later on. This one for animation. So we're not going to export that, and this one, we're going to further edit it when we're doing the VFX. So I'm going to set them aside for now. And we're just going to export this. So I guess on our later video, we've already set the pivot point down there at the very bottom of each one of this. So I'm going to import the script first to see how you guys can set the pivot point at the lowest for all of this just by highlighting it. So, go to Windows, go to General Editors right here, and just hit Script Editor, okay? And just find the script that you've downloaded in Gumroad. For me, I'm going to hit File, Open Script, you know how it goes. We're going to go to Fantasy Low Poly here, and I've put it under the script folder right here. And the name should be Maya Tool. So this is our old batch export, and this is our new one by Phoenix. And I'm just going to double click this. And I'm going to mess up the pivot point, put them all in the center first, so you guys can see the functionality of the script. So, I'm going to put everything on the center. So as you can see, every single pivot point is now in the center. Okay, so if I want to put the pivot point at the very bottom of each mesh of this right here, I'm just going to highlight, press play, make sure that you are on that script, and all you have to do is center pivot. Right here. So it's going to take that pivot point at the center mass of each object and put it at the lowest point possible. And as you can see, just like that, all of our pivot point is at the lower. And if you remember in our beginner's course, we have to set that up manually on each one of them. And remember the bug that we have here on this particular mesh right here, when we center the pivot point and reset it, the pivot point is all the way right here. Even if we clean up the parent right here and make sure that this one doesn't have any parent whatsoever, and it's still messing up pivot point wise, all you have to do is highlight that mesh that's giving you problem and merge verts. Because turns out it was a bounding box problem. So if you just want to, fix that, if you're having any pivot point problems and it's already by itself, it's not under any parent whatsoever, just highlight it and merge that verts. And it should merge the bounding box and fix that problem for you. And also, I'm going to set this as an example. So if we export this, I'm going to kind of put a sample folder for you just so you can see this. I'm gonna choose that location and say export it. If I hit export, as you can see, that's gonna be the default position of your mesh when it's exported. So when you import this in Unity, it's gonna be the center of the world and everything is fixed. You don't need to snap it anymore. Like, none of that stuff. And this is really helpful because it saves us tons and tons and tons of time. So be grateful for that guy. Like, honestly, this is gonna save me tons of time exporting, mass exporting all my stuff. Okay? And let's check that folder. So as you can see here on the sample, the name is just groundrock_circle1. There's no taking the folder's name first, so it's not sample_groundrock_circle. Okay? So if you want something like that, use the script. Alright? So this is the point in time where you are going to choose either keep the naming convention right here, the YN one, or you can use our new script and just dump the YN underscore whatever folder that you put first and just put the mesh name by itself. Now, I'm gonna tell you this though. If you're selling this on Unity, because I'm going to integrate the selling of asset in the Unity asset store later on the advanced course. If you are selling this and planning on selling it, make sure that you stick to the same naming convention. So if everything is like taken by the folder's name first, like for me it's YN_pillar circle, my intermediate course asset should stay the same. It should have a YN_ because everything should have the same naming convention, or your asset is going to be rejected by Unity. Or what you can do is just update all the names of your meshes from the beginner's course. Just remove the YN. You can do that simply by just going to your main folder. It was, I think, the beginner's course, FBX here. It was the portal right here, and just delete all the YN right here. Now that is just a one-time thing because now that our batch export is fixed, you're not gonna do this again. So 2 ways that you gotta do. Follow the folder convention name or just redo this whole thing, okay? And one thing that I forgot to tell you guys before you even export this is make sure that everything is in the right direction. Make sure that when you export this, this is front, and when you import this into Unity, it's going to be front here, not facing sideways or anything else. So, to test that theory, all you have to do is export one mesh via this script and kind of create a folder here, put it as a test. This is just one, but I'm just going to choose that location and export from there. So, that should determine which direction your mesh is facing, and from there you can fix it. So if we go to our desktop here on the test and kind of drag this into Unity, I don't know why stuff keeps opening like that, but I'm going to drag this into Unity here, put it here. And what I'm going to do is drag this on the scene. So as you can see, this is the front. If you check your camera here, as you can see, your mesh should be facing this camera, like by default. Now this doesn't usually matter because you can just edit the rotations here and whatnot, but if you're passing this to someone, make sure that everything is facing the same direction as your previous project, especially if you're merging them into one. As you can see right here, it should be on -90 degrees. So I'm gonna quickly just delete this. And also delete this, and I'm gonna go delete this too. I'm gonna do this one last time. I'm going to kind of rotate this on the negative side, just like I did on Unity. Put here -90 and export it again and test it. Now this is like a trial and error. There's not really a wrong way or right way of doing this. Just make sure that everything is facing the right direction. So as you can see, it's facing the wrong way again, but at least now I know that if I flip this 180 degrees, it's going to be in the right direction. So I'm going to delete this, go to my Maya again, and now I know which direction I should export everything. So I'm going to mass export this. So I'm going to highlight everything and just kind of rotate it from there. So I'm going to open this tab right here, make sure everything is on 90. It doesn't need to necessarily be perfect 90. Depends on you if you have the patience to do that, but for me, what's important is just I get it as close as 90. So 90 and 4, I'm good with that. And I'm going to freeze a transformation on this. And from there, I know that when I export this on Unity, they're all going to be facing the right way. So I'm going to quickly kind of delete history, and from there I'm going to export every single one of them, but I'm going to save it first. And as you can see, I have the name texture plus camera position fixed because I'm trying to make them face the camera in Unity and have the same front position as my previous project. So, highlight the stuff that I'm going to export. This time I'm going to put it on the right folder, Fantasy Low Poly, FBX, and Swamp FBX right here. Select this folder, and since we are using centimeter, I'm going to check this scale right here. Make sure this is checked. If you're using meters, make sure this is unchecked. What this thing simply does is just when you import this on Unity, you don't have to adjust the scale factor right here and put 100 on it. If you can remember on our beginner's course, we have to put 100 here. So when we kind of put them here on our scene, our scales are 1 and they are on the right size. So having the script, you don't need to manually set 100 in every single one of them. As soon as you put it on the game engine, it's ready. So I'm telling you right now, this guy really helped you by a ton. So make sure you give him some love out there and thank him. Be nice. Alright, so let's do this finally. Just highlight everything and export that. Alright, so as you can see, everything should be fixed and working on Unity. I'm just gonna kind of Control Z for now because I don't want all my mesh to be at the center because this is my Maya file. I'm gonna go to my folder right here and it should be on FBX. Swamp. And as you can see, it's inside. It's not outside of our folder. So what I'm going to do is just go here and kind of import this on, let's see, Mesh FBX. I'm going to create a folder to separate the beginner and then the intermediate assets. It depends on you if you want to mix them, but if you're going to prefab this, it might kind of, mess you up a bit. But I'm just going to put here the beginner assets. Actually, just FBX. You can put whatever name you want. This is just so I know which mesh I should mess with. And I'm going to create another folder and put intermediate FBX. I'm going to open this, go to my folder. And if I put one here on Unity, statue sitting here on the intermediate and kind of drag it here. As you can see now they're all facing the right way. So everything now should be ready. Now all we have to do is import this. Highlight everything, Control A, and just drag here. So as you can see, we have all these things right here. And what I'm going to do next is open this material. As you can see, we have this elf one right here. I'm just going to delete that because I think my elf kind of exported from Maya, but we're not going to mess with this elf right now, so we're not going to go use that material. So I'm just going to delete it for now, and also the mesh. And this emissive, if you can remember, this is for our emission. It came from our Maya Lambert material. Now it's Unity material. I'm just going to quickly change the color so you see how it affects our mesh. So, go to intermediate here, and where was it? This one. So as you can see, our insides now are red. So go here and transfer this emissive into your material folder, which is this one. Just drag and drop. I'm going to delete this material because I don't need it. And if you can remember, we don't have the texture material that we have here in Maya. If I open my Hypershade real quick, as you can see, our texture material right here did not import on Unity along with our mesh. It's because it just derived from our old project material, which is this one, because they have the same name. So our newly imported mesh automatically derived from this old material right here. So keep in mind how that thing works, okay? We're gonna go to intermediate FBX. Delete this one though because, well, I'm not gonna need this. But I'm gonna hide my level real quick. Also my lighting and VFX. Yeah, I'm gonna hide this. This is just for like visual thing. You don't have to copy me. create a 3D object to show you that everything is on the right position. So my scene is kind of blurry like this. It's because of my camera effects. I'm just gonna go disable this for now. And now our skybox is the only one active. So I'm gonna drag one here on my hierarchy. And as you can see, our mesh pivot point is at the lowest center mast of our object. Press F to kind of focus on it, and as you can see, it's at the lowest part. It's taking the mesh's lowest vertex and just kind of putting it there. As far as this is the lowest part, so it's right here. It only makes sense. Okay? Make sure that your pivot right here is on pivot, not center, because if it's on the center, it's going to be there. If it's on pivot, it's going to be at the lowest. So keep that in mind. So as you can see, our scale is 111, and also our tree right here that we've just kind of put here on our hierarchy is at 1. We don't need to put it on 100 or times it by 100 just to have it on the right size. Like everything is already ready for you. All that manual labor work is skipped. So now you have all this meshes right here, and they're all at the center. Everything. And all you have to worry about now, all you have to do is prefab this, and then you're done. After you prefab this, the next thing that you're going to do is simply designing your scene. So I'm going to highlight everything here and just drag it here. So I'm just going to go to my prefab folder right here. Again, I'm going to create a folder to separate the beginner and then the intermediate prefabs. So beginner, prefabs. And just kind of highlight everything, put it here. Intermediate prefabs. Now this is just my way of kind of naming this. You can name this however you want. But I'm gonna go put everything here. This is the only manual thing that you have to do. But our export and import has been so much faster because everything is fixed for us. So with that being said, I'm really excited as to how many more students is going to enroll in my course and collab with me. Because I like working with them. I'm not a programmer, like I'm an artist, but if you can fix my problem via code, I'd be so grateful. Because right now I have a best friend that does C#, so that works on Unity. And now I have someone that does Python, and that works for my modeling software, which is Maya. So if you guys have something to share that you want to integrate on these courses, you can just contact me and show me what you've got, and I will transfer traffic into your websites. Because I've made Finnick create a Gumroad account so you guys can download from his account, not mine. Because I'm more interested on the skill set of the person than money itself, because money is just paper. But skill is something you learn, and people are so much more valuable. Their skill is so much more valuable than money itself. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go delete this, and now we should have a prefab that we can just drag wherever we want. And just know that you can go to materials, change your emissive into another color again if you want. Go back to intermediate, let's see, prefabs here. And now it's changed. You don't even need to refresh it or anything, it's just gonna go change along with it. So, now that everything is fixed, we are ready for setting up our scene and just, playing with it and creating our own tiny little world. And that's what we're going to do on the next video. So, I will see you then. Bye!